Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Colin Cowherd podcast. Go on, hit the subscribe button. There you go, right down there. If you want to be among the first to hear my weekly takes, NFL, college football, more, right there. All right, let's start with the Rams-Lions. These standalone NFL games are insane. I mean, you had over 700 yards of offense tonight, over 500 passing yards between the Lions and the Rams, Matt Stafford and Jared Goff. About 5.5 yards a play if you average the two teams. Let's see, 46 first downs and no fumbles. Each quarterback threw a pick. Time of possession was even. First of all, Sean McVay and Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. He got hurt. Both your offensive tackles are out. Makeshift offensive line to go into Detroit Sunday Night Football against the Super Bowl level team in Detroit. And really, I thought they had the game won in regulation. What a performance by Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Sean McVay, who's a rock star. In the end, though, I felt like Detroit, when it went to overtime, I'm like, okay, now it's Detroit's game. The Rams look tired. Sometimes, and Chris Collinsworth made a great point. You're not really built in week one to go to overtime in a game that's a track meet. It's just only so much I don't know who, I don't have the betting lines next week, but I mean, the Rams and the Lions, if they were a little off next week, you'd understand it. But my first take is the Rams, I mean, I wrote these numbers down. At one point, they had a 28-12 first down advantage. On the road, 400 yards, 300 passing yards, dominating time of possession, and a 78-45 total play advantage at one point in this game. But credit a very deep, now experienced Lions team. Like they're not new kids on the block. Green Bay's still young. The Rams are actually pretty young. San Francisco's older, but the Detroit's got a veteran club here, and now a veteran coaching staff with Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell. So I think it was just a team, like the Rams gave it everything they had, but they looked really shot in overtime. And to the Lions' credit, they just ran the ball right at them. They didn't F around at all. They went right at the Rams' interior D-line, and it worked. I think one of the things I'm always taken by is how good Matt Stafford is. And we all know he's good, but I've said this before. If Matt Stafford and the Rams, and remember, what you saw from the Rams tonight is impressive. Puka Nacua will be back. They'll have both their offensive tackles. Their guard will go back to playing center. They'll be a better team. Plus, they're incredibly young on the defensive side. I mean, they got two rookies starting on that defensive front. Give those guys 12, 15 games. This Ram team, by the end of the year, you don't want any part of. This is a really good team. The difference is the Lions are supposed to be good now, and they got outplayed for big chunks of this football game. One of the things I worry about with the Lions is they don't have a ton of wide receiver depth. So they got to keep Amon-Ra St. Brown healthy. They don't have a lot of depth there. And the Rams did pick them apart, even though I think they're a better team in the back end. Rams, and maybe it's just the Rams. Cooper Kupp can do that. Rams kind of picked them apart for long stretches in that football game. Again, the Rams had a 78-45 play advantage at one point and were dominating time of possession. So it's one of those things. Detroit, I didn't think played particularly well in the second half, and they won the game. I thought the Rams were brilliant. A heartbreaking loss when you really outplayed a team on the road, a great team on Sunday Night Football, and you lose. That's a long flight back to L.A. But I think what you're looking at is two excellent teams, two teams that could meet again in the NFC Championship. Wouldn't be surprised in the least. Would not be surprised in the least. The other thing I think is fair to say, what we saw in week one. Week one's crazy. I mean, I thought I had the right side in the Titans game, and Will Levis, good hell, was that a bad pick. Week one's crazy. Again, Dallas looked sensational. Cincinnati looked awful. You don't take too much from it. But I do feel like tonight watching that game, I'm watching two Super Bowl level teams. Once the Rams get their offensive line healthy and everybody's back, watch out. They draft and develop so well. They got so many good young players on that team. They're really, really young. Not Green Bay young, but really, really young. And I guess my overall take, now San Francisco plays the Jets tomorrow, but my overall take on Sunday, Thursday, and Friday, is, outside of Cincinnati, the teams we think are going to be pretty good are good. And the teams that we think are going to be bad, like the New York Giants, are pretty bad. Um, we'll get into New England later. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, you don't have a lot of the weaponry for Cincinnati. So, you just don't, it's hard to make a big sweeping judgment. But I feel like tonight, in a weird way, I look at what the Rams did without their tackles and their makeshift O-line against that Detroit team, starting two rookies up front defensively. That's the most impressive loss. I mean, Baltimore losing on Thursday is an impressive loss. That Ram loss tonight. That's a pretty good loss, right? You can lose like Cleveland lost, or like Carolina lost, or like the Giants lost, or Washington lost. But this tonight, I mean, you go back and look at film, you did a lot right against an excellent Lions team. The fact you could block that front at all with backups everywhere is a testament to how well coached the Rams are. Man, that was fun. The Thursday standalone, the Friday standalone, this. And then tomorrow we get Aaron Rodgers against the Niners. I mean, you want to know why this league is king? You watched it tonight. NFL Week 1 is here, and a new season means new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. So fans have spoken. They want to bet on touchdowns. DraftKings heard us. They're delivering. DraftKings Sportsbook's the number one place to bet touchdowns. Ready to place your first bet? Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown. Ready to do a touchdown dance of your own? New DraftKings customers bet just $5 to get $250 in bonus bets instantly, plus 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Real easy, 90 seconds. Use the code Colin. For new customers, will get you $250 in bonus bets, betting just $5. And 1 month of NFL Plus premium on us. Offer ends September 19th. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. The other thing the Rams, and I wouldn't call this a problem, but it's fascinating. So there's a lot of discussion because he's gotten nicked up last couple of years. What do you do with Stafford? Do you draft another quarterback? But you're watching Stafford tonight. He went 34 for 49 for 317 yards and a touchdown with a pass rush in his face. In the second half, he went 18 of 23 for 200 yards. And again, he's under duress. Jared Goff had a much cleaner pocket. And I'm sitting there watching Matt Stafford, and I'm thinking, if you're the Rams for the next couple of years in the draft, why draft a quarterback? Just stack the roster. Who are you going to get in the draft that's as good as this guy? I know he's older. But when I watched him tonight on the road, pass rush, I mean, it's basically Cooper Kupp. He didn't have Tyler Higbee, his top tight end. He's banged up. He didn't have Puka Nacua. He didn't have his tackles. He's putting on a clinic. You're not going to face many pass rushes. Certainly tonight, you're not going to face many environments in this league harder than that. And this guy's 18 for 23 in the second half. So, I was sitting as I watched the game and I'm thinking, what? I mean, he's never been a big mover. He moves well enough in the pocket. His arm's great. I mean, he's clearly going 1,000 miles an hour cognitively upstairs. He's got an incredible relationship with Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Now they got Jordan Whittingham, this other receiver they bring in, Tyler Johnson, who I thought was kind of a cast-off. I think he was in Tampa at one point. He had a huge play tonight. And I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, the defense is young. Stafford's the old guy, but I don't know if I draft a quarterback if I'm the Rams. I would definitely draft a tackle. Robin Havenstein didn't play tonight, right tackle. He's getting up there. And I would get another wide receiver. But, I mean, last year, 5 of their 6 top picks are defense, so there's no reason, they are very close. I think they could get to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're as good as Kansas City. I don't know if they're as good as Baltimore. I don't know. But they're certainly in a group of 4 or 5 teams that could get there, 5 or 6 teams maybe. So you're watching Stafford. I'm watching Stafford. That guy doesn't look close to retirement. He doesn't look close. Everybody loves Aaron Rodgers. He's off a major surgery. Kirk Cousins off a major surgery. Stafford's gotten his hand banged on the helmet. His shoulder's been banged up, but I'm just looking at these numbers tonight. In that pass rush, on the road, in that environment, shit. I'm just loading the roster up. I'm redoing his contract. You go pay Dak $60 million a year. I'm writing checks for Stafford the next 2 years. Seriously. I'm not drafting another quarterback. I'm not wasting my time on a draft pick at the top. I'll get him another tackle, another receiver, another edge rusher. He doesn't look close to being over. I think there's a real argument. He's the best quarterback in the NFC. I'm trying to think. I mean, you watched him with Goff tonight. Stafford's better. Brock Purdy, give me a break. Dak, no, Stafford's more talented, better arm talent. Jalen Hurts, Stafford. I mean, just you tell me. I think he's the best quarterback in the NFC. Oh, by the way, with McVay, which is, I mean, if you're taking everything into consideration on if you're going to move off a quarterback, and you say, well, he does have maybe the smartest offensive coach, I think that can extend it another year or two. Shit, if you told me that Matt Stafford's starting upright in 3 years, I mean, he's not 40. I don't know. You're watching tonight. I don't think he's close to over. F them picks. Go get him help. Don't draft a quarterback.